Hey everybody, Penguin here. We're going to be talking about a few things, this, that, and the other, so I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, thanks for coming back. Well, today is Friday, the end of the week. Of course, when you're disabled and you unfortunately can't work, a day is a day is a day. But I've settled down since my last post that I made yesterday. I've calmed down. I'm not as upset. At the doctor and the internet, and the cable and everything like that I talked about. So I'm pretty chill right now. Strangely enough, I moved one box around in the house, and we basically have two. Again, I told you I have Comcast Xfinity. We have two of the X1 or the big boxes with DVRs, and we have one downstairs where my mother-in-law basically lives, and one upstairs. And we also have two additional boxes for bedrooms upstairs. So I moved the X1, which was structurally on top of the other one. So where it is in the downstairs, it was directly above it in the upstairs in the living room. So I moved that into one of the bedrooms. And I did that about 5 hours ago, I guess. And as of right now, there's been no more issues with the internet and with the cable. So maybe that was the thing. They called and canceled the appointment today because, well, they postponed it or rescheduled it, however you want to look at it, because they had staffing issues or something, which is fine. They were going to come out Monday, but I won't be available Monday, so they're going to come out Tuesday. And I may end up, if all goes well and this stays and works, I may cancel that. But it's something I've never heard of before. Most people don't have two of the X1 boxes in their house, I agree, but the positioning of them making a difference like this, it bewilders me because I don't know why it would do that. It doesn't make any sense on a electronics point of view, the way everything works. The only thing that's a wireless signal is from the remote. It's a IR signal, so I'm not really sure why that's an issue, if that indeed was the issue. But when the tech came out prior to this, when we were having the same problem, he said, it could be because of the having two X1s. Not really sure. Maybe they're right. Who knows? As you can tell, we're outside right now because it's a beautiful day. It's about 80 degrees, slight overcast, sun's coming in and out, a little bit humid, but now there's a breeze blowing. There's supposed to be some rain coming in, so not sure how that's going to be or how much we're going to get. Pop-up showers. If you live in the South, you know how it is. So we've got a lot of rain here where I live, somewhere in Georgia, and I think we're still below the water level that we need to be because it was so dry last summer and during the winter, very, very dry. So there was some good news for those people who live in Maine. If you are somebody who partakes in cannabis or basically smokes pot, down in Portland, Maine, there was a guy down there he said, if you come to this location, I will give pot away to you. And he would do that. He was giving everybody a gram of marijuana, which that is strange in its own right, no matter where it is. That's strange. But in the state of Maine, as of January 1st, it was voted in that they could smoke marijuana recreationally. There are some laws about this, though. You cannot smoke in public, and you cannot operate a vehicle or motorcycle or anything like that if you've been smoking. Basically, it's the same as drinking alcohol. No open container, don't drive drunk, kind of the same rules. The catch, though, is they still have not allowed the sale of marijuana in Maine. So you can smoke it, you can do it, but you can't sell it. So, but this guy, the police couldn't do anything because he was not breaking any laws, because he was giving it away. He wasn't selling it, therefore he was okay. So I just thought that was kind of interesting news coming from the state of Maine. And I think they're only the third, maybe fourth state that allows recreational use. There's a lot of states now that allow the medicinal purposes of it, but they're one of the very few that allow it recreationally. And I'm sure they're going to be selling it and taxing it. And I think that's why it's illegal to sell, because the state's probably taxing it and getting income that way, which makes perfect sense. That was one of the pushing things for legalizing marijuana, was if you legalize it, then the government has control and they make money off of it. Fine. I don't have a problem with that. I personally don't smoke it, but I don't have a problem with that and those who do, unless it directly affects me. Then I have a problem with it. I just thought that was interesting to hear that about Maine. I lived in Maine for, I think it's about 10 years, and I know that it kept coming up. Marijuana kept coming up. But unless I'm incorrect, and if somebody out there knows any better and could tell me, I don't even think it ever became okay for medicinal. I think it went straight from nothing to recreation. I don't think there was a in between on that. So if I'm wrong, somebody let me know. Post it down in the comments or directly to me, and I will append my statement about that. Okay, other things in the news. So apparently they caught the teacher and the 15-year-old girl from Tennessee who he kidnapped. And they took, I think they caught him in Northern California is where they were found. And he's been arrested and he's charged with so many things. Trafficking a child for sex, probably statutory rape. I mean, it's going to go on. The list is just very vast. She's being reunited with her family, but most people who are following this know that she had a relationship with this teacher in school. But the last thing that I read was she was trying to get away from him. She was trying to stop it, and he kept going on and on. That's what led him to basically kidnap her. If I can't have you, nobody will type thing. I'll take you away, blah, 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 blah. So, but they did find him, and he is in jail, and she is safe. She's okay. But I'm waiting to hear if she went willingly or if she kind of fought because she wanted to be with him, if he kind of brainwashed her in any way. I'm waiting to hear that because I don't know. Other news, Mr. Hernandez, former tight end or former receiver for the New England Patriots, who was tried and convicted of first-degree murder, was serving a life sentence, and he hung himself in prison. Now, here's where the thing gets interesting. The most recent story of his prior to this was he was being charged with 2 more murders. Not first degree, but just an accomplice being there. And he was acquitted of those charges, which didn't matter anyway. I mean, he's serving a life in prison charge, so, what's the big deal? But here's where it makes an interesting twist. According to Massachusetts law, if you've been convicted and your case is still under appeal and you die while your case is still under appeal, you basically die an innocent person. Your charges are dropped. So that means that the Patriots owed him $15 million. So his next of kin, which would be his daughter, technically by law, he did die while he was under appeal. So that means his daughter gets the $15 million and his girlfriend, which is his baby mama, however you want to put that. But what I'm not sure of is if that applies in suicide cases. If it still is good, if it's still, how do I want to say this? If suicide is included in that, and basically he died while on appeal and she gets that money. In a way, it was smart. First of all, it was stupid for him to kill somebody. And that whole thing was stupid. He killed somebody basically because they knew about the other person that killed somebody that he was there with. This person either was a witness or knew about it. So they killed him. First degree murder, he killed this guy. Or that's what he was convicted of. It was under appeal, and now he's dead. So does that mean that the $15 million does go to the daughter? Does that mean the $15 million doesn't go to anybody? If it doesn't go to anybody, because if suicides are exempt from this old Massachusetts law, then that $15 million needs to go to a charity or something like that. The Patriots do not need to keep it because it's not their money. It should go somewhere because they've budgeted for it. There shouldn't be any questions about that, right? So, waiting to hear from that. Get away from me, bug. I hate insects. So that was another interesting part. Hernandez kills himself. His daughter gets $15 million. Can't wait for the headlines if that turns out to be true. That's going to be interesting. And lastly, watched a video where a guy at McDonald's, I don't know the whole scene or what happened. Sorry, there's an ant crawling toward me. I'm not sure what happened, but she has a taser out, and she puts her taser away, and this guy hits the cop. It's a female cop. He hits her. He punches her. So she pulls the taser out, zaps him. And he's laying on the ground. He's laying with his arms crossed on his chest, and she's telling him, roll over, put your hands behind your back. Whereas she was saying, turn around, put your hands behind your back. He's not doing it. She zaps him again. She zaps him again. She keeps zapping him and telling him what to do. He's not following the instructions from the cop. And, you know, she kept saying, I'm going to continue to do this. And she zaps him, she zaps him, she zaps him. Finally, he turns over, and she tells him to stay like that with his hands behind his back until somebody else gets on the scene. And you can hear the sirens in the background of the other officers that are about there. Now, he did not do what he was instructed to do by the cop. Granted, I think she probably ran her battery down on this guy because he got, I mean, she kept zapping him. I've never seen anything like that. Now, what I think she should have done is, since she had control of him at that point, and there were a lot of people in the McDonald's, so it wasn't a case if he got up to do anything else, somebody hopefully would step in. But she probably should have put her foot on the back of his neck or something like that, as you've seen him do. Not necessarily kneel on the back of his neck or kneel on his back or anything, but to help restrain him, just to let him know, other than being tased, that she is in control of the situation at this time. And she kept telling him, you don't hit an officer, you don't hit a cop. Well, there was a guy in the restaurant who yelled, you don't hit a woman, period. Doesn't matter what she is, you don't hit a woman. And then finally she said, you don't hit anybody. So that was kind of an interesting thing, but I've never seen anybody get tased like that before. I mean, think of all that electricity. He was just laying there like, and finally he turned over and okay. So I'm going to leave it at that. This is going to be the end of this, I guess, vlog for today. 4/21. April's almost over. Here comes May. Where's this year going? We're already a third of the way through the year. So I don't know. So as for now, this is Penguin, and I want to say, be somebody important. Be yourself. Peace out.